Hey guys, this is David, and I'm gonna have a authentic conversation with my mom, Nay. Okay, let's just get right into it. How would you describe me?
Um, I think of you as being very thoughtful, kind, um, athletic, but sometimes I think you're scattered. But when you're focused, you're very focused on what you're doing, um, and you're very considerate of a lot, of me and what I'm doing, and always very helpful.
Okay, uh, what are some of the traits that you have that you see in me?
Um, the traits that I have. I think your um, thoughts, well, family. I think that you value family a lot, just as I do. I think that friends are important to you as they are to me. Um, so I see that in you. Clearly, I don't see, I'm not athletic, but you are, so that's not a part of me. But I think um, you're always searching, wanting to know things, and I think that's a trait that I have. I've always, I read a lot. I notice that you do too. And you're always asking questions, trying to find the answers to things, just as I do.
Okay. In what ways are we different?
I think we're different in that I tend to be more organized than you. Um, uh, I think that we're different in that I'm more of a very morning person. I like to get things done. I get up early, I do things, and go through my day early, whereas you are more of a night person and will tend to sleep in whenever you can and then do things later in the day. Um, I think that's what's different about us. Um, like I said, I just like to get up early and get my day going. Um, and if I get up past 6 o'clock, I feel like my whole day is shot.
Really?
So yeah, I do, and that's why I tend to get up really early in the morning all the time. I feel like I get more things done, versus um, you get up late and you try to get everything done in the time that you have left before it's time to go to bed again.
Um, Anything else besides like tendencies? I guess like any.
And how we're different.
Yeah, I guess.
I think we're more alike than we are different. I think that's why um, I think we tend to get along better um, in terms of your staying here with me versus like when your sister's here. She and I tend to get in each other's way a lot. Um,
Oh, really? I don't know.
yeah, but yeah, I think we're more alike than we are different.
What would be, I guess, your favorite memory of my dad?
My favorite memory is um, his guitar. He used to play the guitar for me all the time, and that's when I think of your dad, I always think of him and his music and his love of music, um, plus um, his artwork. He was a very good artist. Um, so those are the things I think about when I think about your dad. Um, how he played the guitar, plus he taught your older brother how to play the guitar. Um, so those are some of the memories I have of him.
Are there like any, I guess, traits and I guess the same thing I asked, like traits and differences between like me and him?
You you have a sometimes it's funny. I look at you and I see your dad in you. The way you laugh, um, some of the things that you do, just little things. It could be the way you stand or um, how you say something. It just reminds me so much of your dad. Um, you when you smile, you kind of smile like him, and your dimples show. That's how your dad was all the time. Um, just little things. It's not just me that notices it. I think your two aunts, when they came out here, they felt the same way. There were certain things that you did that just really made them think of their brother.
Oh, my dad's. I thought talking about your. Okay. Um, I guess could you give me like more insight on, I guess how, since we're talking about traits, I guess like when you were my age, like were there any sort of similarities there too? Like,
Not really, because by the time I was your age, I was already married and I had a child.
so you're more focused on what you had to do to uh, get a better life than
To get a better life and
most
to
people
raise,
your
yeah,
age.
yeah, to raise my child. Um, so I was really focused on that, trying to make sure that I could provide for him and everything. So there's a lot of differences in terms of what I went through at your age versus what you're going through right now. Um, Not to say that it isn't difficult for you, but um, for me, there was, going to college plus having to raise a child at the same time and make sure that, because I was a single mom, and I had to make sure that he was cared for during the day while I went to school, and then at night, if I had to work, I had to make sure that there was someone there for him.
Uh, I know you wouldn't take it back at any point, but do you feel any? Do you feel that? I mean, I guess like regardless if you had my brother at the age or not, that you had, I guess like a full experience in your 20s, like
Or do you think? Are you asking me if I would change anything?
not changed, but it's like
I think.
like regardless of you having him or not, like you
Yeah.
experienced like the full spectrum of I guess like
I think.
everything.
I think it made me grow up quicker. It made me appreciate things that I had or didn't have. It made me work harder, um, and I wouldn't change it because I think it made me stronger as a person, um, and it made me who I am. Um, I've always believed that no matter what happens in life, if you fail, you just pick yourself up and you keep going and you learn from your mistakes. and don't worry about the failure part, because that's what makes you better.
And I guess, lastly, who was the biggest influence in your life, or I guess
The person who
really?
influenced me the most in my life was my grandmother, um, my mom's mother. I always looked at her as being a very strong person. Uh, she had to raise two children on her own also when her husband passed away, and um, she was alone for most of her life after her husband passed, and she always, told me that I needed to be strong, and I needed to make my own way in life, and I shouldn't depend on anybody to make me happy, to care for me. All of that depended on me. If I wanted to be happy in life, it was up to me to make myself happy in life and not depend on somebody else to do that. So she's always been the biggest influence for me.
Oh, that's cool. I never really heard you say that about. Actually, yeah, I never knew who your biggest influence was actually till right now. So it's pretty cool hearing it.